Hello everyone and welcome back to the workbench. Welcome to video 2 in the series of making my M&P great again. I plan on focusing in this video on the first fundamental, well I guess second fundamental. Stance is the first, the gun has nothing to do with that, but grip, so the grip on the gun. There's a couple different ways to enhance the grip on a pistol, or really any gun. And you could go the stippling route, which I have opted to not do, so you're not going to see any kind of soldering iron or anything out here. But I wanted something that enhanced the grip texture, but that if I didn't like it, I could remove it, or I could change it, or I could do something. So I have opted for a Talon grip. Now this Talon grip is the sandpaper version. I also have the rubberized version. I think the rubberized version is really good for concealed carry. But given that this firearm is not going to be a concealed carry firearm, it's going to be a competition one, I wanted something that was a little more grippy. So I got myself the sandpaper version of the Talon grip. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. In addition, you can enhance the grip in another place. So the manipulation of the firearm, there are different places where you grab it to do different things, and another one of those places is the slide. So I have gotten, for Christmas actually, an Arachnigrip. Now basically what this is you can kind of see here, it is for the slide of the firearm. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on tonight as well. As you can see, it fits the Smith & Wesson M&P. They do make a couple other versions, but this actually, they come in a 2-pack. I've already used one just to see what it was like, and I really liked it. So I'm excited to put this one on. It goes on and comes off really easy, similar to a Talon grip. So I guess with no further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. All right, let's get the workspace set up here. So, of course, the firearm is completely unloaded, no ammunition anywhere on the workbench. Let's go ahead and break this thing down. Let's get it into its different components here. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be putting the Talon grip on the frame itself, and on the slide we're going to put the Arachnigrip across the top. So let's start with the slide and the Arachnigrip. Now I will say I don't have the price because I got this as a gift for Christmas. I don't have the price in front of me in terms of a receipt, but I do know that you can buy this for $20, and for $20 you get, of course, the packaging that it comes with. You get 2 of these, and you also get a sticker, an Arachnigrip sticker. So for $20, you get 2 of these in case something happens to the first one, or you just want to do it like I did and test it out and then take it off, or whatever. If it breaks, if it malfunctions down the line, or if it just wears out, you've got a second one, and you get the plastic that it comes in, which you're going to throw away anyway, but you also get a sticker. So you can kind of see how this works. Now, of course, the backside right now still has the tape on it. And it's really ingenious how they did this. They split the tape in 2, and I apologize if this is whited out too much, but they actually split the tape in the middle so that you can take off and apply 1/2 before you apply the other half. Now, as I mentioned, I've put one of these on before, and you can't even tell that there was anything there. So if down the road you don't like it or whatever and you want to take it off, it's not going to leave any residue or any ill effects like on your slide. So let's start with this one here. Now mind you, I've put one of these on before, but I'm not going to claim to be an expert, so let's just see how poorly I can mess this up. Let's start by taking off 1/2. There you go. And I am going to start, I guess there's 2 different places you could start, but I'm going to start on the side here and try to line all these little fingers up. As you can see, it just fits right into those grooves like that, and it does look like it fits up a little higher than I would like. in terms of the grooves. So let's make sure we've got this centered in the middle. Let's do it this way. Before we do any of that, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Alcohol swab that came with the Talon grip. We're just going to go ahead and use it on everything. Now, I will say I do have frog lube on these. I frog lube all my products, all my firearms, basically anything metal that I have, I frog lube it. That's just my personal preference. If you have oil or anything on the slide of your firearm, you're going to, of course, want to take that off before you apply any kind of sticky thing. But the Arachnigrip is no different. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and do over here as well. Okay, there we go. So now, tell you what, let's make sure this is centered in the middle, because that's probably going to be the part that's really going to drive me nuts if I mess this up. So let's make sure we're back far enough on the side here. Looks like it sits right in front of the rear sight. So I just tap the top real quick just to quick seat it. And I'm just going to look over here on this side and make sure that everything's basically lined up, which it looks to be. So now let's just roll these out in as much of a uniform fashion as we can. Let's start back here. I'll tell you what. Let's grab a tool to help us through this. Could use a knife, could use a pen. But I'm going to use part of my cleaning kit. I'm going to use the back side of this brush, so I'm actually just going to use, make sure there's nothing on it, this part here to push with. So let's just make sure that we've got everything squared away the way that we want it. And I'm just going to set each one of these in little grooves, and I'll go back over afterwards and press it down with my hand. I'm just trying to set it with the nylon brush here, because you can move them slightly, as you can see. Just kind of pressing them in here. Alright, so now that I've got them lightly set, I'm just going to go over with my hand, my thumb, and just press them in. Okay. Alright, so there's that. That side, we're still centered on the top, as you can see here. Alright. Now, adjust the camera angle slightly. Alright, now let's go in and do this other side. So I'm just going to peel this back a little bit. Grab that corner with my fingernail. And pull. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side as I did on the other. Set the top first. Get my brush ready. Now this is going to be a little different because it's a different side, but same general concept. Get it roughly set there. Kind of line them up a little bit. And then take my brush, set that one down, and press them into place. All right. Placed where I want them there. Can I show you a different angle here? I'm just going to press everything down with my thumbs. Now, you'll notice that the sight can still move freely on both sides. I'm still going to be able to slide that sight in and out if I ever wanted to. In case I ever wanted to upgrade the standard sights on this, I could always slide that in and out. You'll also notice that I opted to go with the sandpaper Talon grip, which matches nicely to the sandpaper on this Arachnigrip, sandpaper finish on the Arachnigrip. Now, over time, will this sandpaper fade off? Probably, but dual function. I mean, it definitely provides more friction than just the standard serrations in the slide, but it also, I think, kind of looks neat. Just gives it a little bit of flair, a little bit of point of difference than every other M&P out there. All right, there's the slide done. Now, Talon grip, $17.99 total, $17.99. M&P full size. This is the 22, 9, 357, and 40. I have the small back strap on this, so all of that is in the choice. So the 45 is different. The medium and large back straps will change what Talon grip you get, and obviously granulate or rubberized. So $18 for that. So we're at $20 for this and $18 for this. So for $40, you have upgraded your grip texture on both the frame of the pistol and the slide of the pistol. All right, now I've put on a Talon grip before, but it has been a little while. So, if I remember correctly, it's basically going to be this. We're going to stick it, we're going to wrap it around, and then if we have extra up here, we tuck this under that. I don't think we're going to have any extra. If we do, I might even just trim it. But once you set it, you then use a heat gun and kind of mold it to the pistol itself. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so there's our first portion. I'm just going to basically crease this backing right there, just like that. So I've creased the backing, and I'm just going to stick this to this here, and I'll try to keep this centered for you so you can see what I'm doing. Now notice the contour here and here seems to match up with the contour of the cuts here. So I'm going to try to match all that. Remember, as soon as you set it, you can goof with it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm just lightly tapping it down. See the contour of the palm swell there? Kind of follows it all the way around. So there we go. All right, that seems to be good. It seems to line up with the part of the frame up here. Go ahead and press it down. Of course, I've got it lined up at the bottom, and the circle that shows the military and police, the circle cutout that shows the military and police of the Smith & Wesson part. Okay, there's that part. So now we're just going to keep peeling gently as we go. Okay, so I creased it just a little bit there, but that's okay. Heat gun will help cure that. Okay, I'm just going to work my way around the back, pressing it down as I go, centering it up in the middle, and then working my way out to the sides. Centered up in the middle, work my way out to the sides. Okay, there's the back strap. Now, let's make sure this side lines up with the cuts here. I'm having to push it with my thumb just a little bit to get everything to line up. And you can see me kind of maneuver it up here just to make sure all of the parts line up. All right, so far so good. Now, let's wrap it around the front strap here. And we do have some overlaps. So I'm going to make a cut and trim that. Alright, so that's the granulate cut there. See how good of a line that is. That's pretty close, actually. You can see, as I peel this back just a little bit, where it actually catches, so pretty close. Oh my gosh, it's actually really comfortable. I thought I was going to have to sand this down. So Talon grips, when they send you these, they say if this is too aggressive of a sandpaper, you can actually sandpaper the sandpaper and tone it down a little bit, but I actually really like the feel of that. Alright, so before we hit the Talon grip with the heat gun and finalize the install, I am going to use a little bit of this leftover that I cut off, and I'm going to put it on the magazine release. So I'm going to basically just stick it to it, and then I'm going to use the blade and contour around. So alright, so there we go. I kind of butchered that and cobbled it together, but there's now texture on the magazine release. So next step is to hit it with a heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hairdryer. It just takes a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that. Slow and steady, right? That's the motto. So we'll just hit it with a heat gun. We're just going to warm it up. We're not going to get it hot. We're just going to warm it up enough to then kind of manipulate it and really get that to stick. Alright, so we're just going to use the low setting on our heat gun here. Very inexpensive heat gun. I'll tell you what, we'll do the slide first. Again, we don't want it hot, we just want it warm. So low setting, never want to hold it in one place. Always keep it moving. Perfect. Alright, so it's warm, not hot. Go ahead and set our heat gun so it's not going to burn anything. I can still touch it. It's not hot, but definitely is warm. Now, I will say, the Arachnigrip did not say anything about needing heat to adhere, but I figure if the Talon grip needs it, it's not a bad idea to do it to the Arachnigrip. Okay, I'll set that aside. I'll do the same thing on the grip. Now I'm going to do this kind of all around. You can do it in sections, so you can do just this section, press, back press, front press, but I'm just going to do everything. Keep in mind, polymer. So you really don't want to set it in one spot for too long. Keep it moving. Alright, so it's been a little while here. Set that so it doesn't fall over. You can see it is probably too hot. I probably left it on there too long. So I'm just going to go around and kind of press versus getting a full grip, because what I've done is I've heated the glue underneath, and I just want to make sure, there we go, that's good. So it's warm, like it's to the point where I wouldn't want to hold on to this for too long because it would get uncomfortable. And I probably messed up a couple of these edges, but that's okay because I can use the sandpaper. Like for instance right here, you can see how it's bubbled up just a little bit. I messed that up, but that's okay because I could just use a sandpaper and sand it back down. And I watched it bubble up over on the other side too. So I'm just kind of manipulating it, just gripping it, squeezing it tight, pushing on everything, pushing from every which direction, trying to get every last bit of it pressed down. That actually might work. We'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. Now I'm using my right hand and my left hand for this, so my dominant hand and my non-dominant hand. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure I get all parts pressed, and I can't do all parts. Like for instance, with this grip I can't get any of this with my strong hand. So get my weak hand, squeeze it, I get it all, I capture it all. So just kind of pressing everything down, squeezing everything down. If I really wanted to, I suppose I could have put some up here. And the reason I'm doing it up here is because this is where I index my non-dominant thumb. So if I can set up a way to get an indexing point up here, I'm not going to say no to that. Now we're done with it. So I've used the Talon tape, Talon grip tape, to enhance the grip of the pistol on the frame as intended. And then I've used a couple little bits here. One is a little indexing point for my support hand thumb, offhand thumb, and then also for the magazine release, which again may or may not stay, but I figure I've got the extra tape, why not do it? So in any case, thanks for sticking around. This was video number 2 in the series of making the M&P great again, and in this one we installed the Arachnigrip on the slide and the Talon grip on the frames. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you all again very soon.